Last night was by far the coldest we've experienced on a trip. It was a slow start to the day, but we finally got up and started packing our bikes, licked our wounds and admired our bush mechanic skills. While some of us just relaxed and enjoyed the moment, thawing out in the warm sun. After being refused entry into Solitaire Reserve, because we were on bikes, we decided to have an easy day by riding the 95 kilometers to Solitaire, where we could take the rest of the day off and relax and catch up on some washing. We soon got over our Solitaire disappointment as we were rewarded with some awesome mountain views. The odd springbuck stayed around to pose for us. Solitaire lives up to its name. It has a lodge, garage and a bakery. Simon, Stuart and I decided to spoil ourselves and checked into comfortable rooms while Howard preferred to pitch his tent. While unpacking our bikes, we met a group of riders who were on their way south. After introductions, their first question was, "What condition are the roads down south?" Boy, were they in for a surprise. I think that some old cars lying around the yard came from the south. Before the end of each day, Howard did his ritual check of the bikes to see how his TR Tech products were holding up. Shortly after leaving Solitaire, we could understand why the bikers heading south inquired about the condition of the roads. It started off quite badly, but improved as the day went on.
Where the fuck is Simon? Must be, Gav?
Yeah. Where are we?
Tropic of Capricorn.
Tropic of Capricorn.
Yeah. Don't make over.
We've done over 3,000 kilometers now.
Yeah.
Reaching the Tropic of Capricorn was a huge achievement, and we were almost halfway through our journey.
the 4 intrepid bikers have made it so far to the Tropic of Capricorn. We are likely to turn around before the equator and re-meet the Tropic of Capricorn, riding south back towards Durban.
Somewhere along that line.
This is Simon Huddart, somewhere in Namibia for the BBC. Good night.
Fucking hell, who's going to buy that from you?
Still heading north, we went through Alb Pass, where we saw the remains of a serious flooding from the recent rains.
Come on, Simon! Take it away, Simon!
Right, Simon, let's see you give that tar a French kiss. Give it a French kiss. No, but I hope there's no ready gravel road around the corner.
Did you tell him it ends there?
Yeah, that's where it ends.
What?
Oh, beautiful.
What's the run around dressed like this? It's too hot.
During the long riding days, we always found time for some fun.
Give me some more dirt. And there's diamonds as well.
What?
And there's diamonds as well.
Diamonds.
You gotta break yourself into the tar slowly.
Yeah.
What a bag of shite.
What?
I said, what a bag of shite that is. You can stuff that gravel up your ass.
And it was only about 3 kilometers of tar before we were back onto the gravel. The mountainous part of the desert was really spectacular, with crystal clear rivers and huge rock formations. Then we moved on to more desert-like terrain, with straight roads that we thought would never end. In the middle of nowhere, we came across this mountain overhang called Mount Vogelfederberg. We are now only 35 kilometers from Walvis Bay. One should always remember to switch one's helmet cam off. You never know what you could be showing the world. Is he going to turn around or carry on playing with it? Sorry, ladies. The view of the Namib desert from the picnic sites was breathtaking. There's a strange beauty about a desert. We enjoyed the shade of the overhanging rocks. Nothing lasts forever, so we were soon back onto the desert road, heading for Walvis Bay.
Here we are in Namibia. As you can see, God was having a bad day. He completely forgot to put anything here. Those are two bikers who think it's rather beautiful, and as you can see, there is miles and miles, acres and acres of fuck all. It is extraordinary nothingness.
Well, almost nothing. The end of the desert. This put a smile on Simon's face. We would continue on to Walvis Bay before riding the short distance to Swakopmund, our overnight destination. In the distance, we could see the famous Dune 7. If someone said Walvis Bay, the first word that comes to me is smelly. I think that we have been in the desert for so long that we have all forgotten the smell of frot fish and crude oil. It felt strange to ride along the coast with the sea on your one side and huge dunes on the other. The impressive beach cottages were far apart and seemed ghostly. At Swakopmund, we checked into the very cheap municipal rest camp. We took a walk around the town and were amazed at the damage that the floods had caused. All the roads had traces of mud that had been washed down from the desert. If ever you visit Swakopmund, trust me, have an Einspine at the Europa Hof Hotel. You will be back. The next morning, we discussed our route for the day. When we mentioned Spitzkoppe and dirt roads, Simon chose to continue on the chart to Ocha, while Howard, Stuart and I would make a detour to the Big Rock Mountain. The Spitzkoppe Reserve is run by the locals who are trying hard to make a decent living. Everything is so clean and the staff were so friendly and helpful. It felt good to cool off under the shade of the little restaurant. If only we had extra time, we would have liked to spend a night at this mystical place. Their mode of transport is a little different to what we are used to, and their 2 donkey-powered drivetrains are a little skittish when challenged by a 110 horsepower bike. On the way to Ocha, we stopped off at the Desert Rose for a bite to eat. If the food was like a decor, we should have been worried, but it was all good. We were soon on the road again, but we had to be very careful. On a few occasions, warthogs would run out to the long grass across the road right in front of us, and the rain didn't help either. At 150 Rand per night, a Binda country lodge was the best value for money. For that, we had our own chalet and included breakfast. With only 300 kilometers to cover, we took it easy and enjoyed the company of my new friend, who didn't have much to say, just the way I like it. North of Ocha was rural country, and the road to Grootfontein was boring. My gloves were now starting to show signs of serious wear. At Ocha, we were told about a B&B that looked after sick animals. Of course, we had to stay there and see the famous black-maned lion.
Well, we're going to have an afternoon snooze before dinner.
I'm actually thinking of shutting my eyes for a minute.
What do you mean you got to what time?
No,
I'm sorry, but these eggs are finished.
This B&B was like a zoo. They had everything.
How's your ride been? These two guys are grumpy.
no, the rather.
I'm not grumpy.
Fantastic.
Who said I was
Fantastic.
grumpy?
Fantastic.
The company has been exemplary.
Oh, well, there we go. There's a
Nobody
good
said I
point.
was grumpy.
There's the line. Let's go take photos.
You didn't lick your hand.
Another day of packing, another day of riding, another day of exploring. This was our daily routine. But today, we are going to see something quite out of this world.
Goodness gracious me.
Guess what? It's a rock.
It was fantastic to be able to touch and sit on the biggest meteorite in the world. We were truly lucky to be able to do this. Then it was off to Rundu, the border between Namibia and Angola. Along the way, we felt back in rural Africa. There was evidence of war at every stop. Instead of carvings of birds and elephants, the carvings were of aeroplanes and gunships. As we rode further north, the military checkpoints intensified. They didn't give us any problems, as 4 old dudes on motorcycles were no threat to anybody. Our B&B was on the Okavango River, which was the border to Angola. We had to ride along flooded dirt roads to get there, but it was worth it. Sarasunga River Lodge was well worth the challenging roads. Hey Howie, you better hold on to your wallet, bud. The accommodation was fantastic and we each had our own chalet. You could see Angola from your front door. As it was easy for Angolans to cross the river, we had our own guard, who was an ex-Tur. I'm glad he didn't remember me from 1975.